Hey, what's up, guys? My name's John. Welcome to Daily Theology, California edition. Come on, what you doing, California? Recently, there has been an exodus from Los Angeles, or as I like to call it, La. And the latest in this exodus is Stephan. That's right, the price of coffee is about to plummet because one of its major buyers is leaving the state. And the reason he's leaving the state is the reason so many others are leaving the state: income taxes, quality of life, restrictions on breathing air, restrictions on what you can or can't do, and the garbage factor keeps coming up over and over. Now, Ben Shapiro recently moved to the city that we're closest to, Music City, Nashville, Tennessee. Welcome, Tennessee, y'all. And so they moved here. Joe Rogan went to Texas, I assume has a belt buckle and at least 10 guns by now. And now Stephan is moving to Las Vegas, Nevada. Seems strange, but the reason is Nevada has no income tax. And when you're in a state that wants to push a 54% tax bracket on the upper income earners, it's basically like he got half of his money back, potentially, depending on how that all works out for him, but that's my assumption. And so in this video, he explains why he's leaving. I want to play a little bit of it. Graham, if you don't know, is a very down-to-earth guy, very kind. I actually really like the way he does his videos. He's very funny, he's very straightforward, and he's made his money doing real estate, but he's also one of the cheapest people on the face of the earth, from all accounts, except for buying houses. That's why I'm not really saying he's a minimalist, because he's got more houses than the Monopoly guy. But we're going to play just a little bit of this and check out why he's leaving Ka.
Well, this is certainly not the video I was expecting to make, but it is official. I am moving out of California. This is not a decision that was taken lightly. In fact, I've rejected the idea for years because California has always been my home. I was raised in Los Angeles. I went through the LA school system. My friends are here. I built my business here. And I don't think I would have the same perspectives I do now had I grown up anywhere else. So to a large extent, growing up in Los Angeles has shaped me into who I am today. But lately, it's been an ongoing struggle to stay. And more often than not, I've been coming up with fewer and fewer justifications of why I should not just pick up and leave to go somewhere else until I did just that. A few weeks ago, I put down a deposit to buy a home in Las Vegas, Nevada, and in a few months, that will officially be my new full-time residence. This is something I've been thinking about for a few years.
So he goes on to say his thought process. I'll put a link for the full video. Check it out. Check out his channel. I came from the investment world, retirement plan space, and Dave Ramsey. And so he's got some common sense ideas, although don't go for the credit cards. He likes the credit cards. I think if you look at them from a moral perspective, people kill themselves because they go into debt. They're predatory. They're basically a gateway drug into debt. And for me, the reason I don't like credit cards, it's a moral position. Can you use them and succeed with them? Some people can, but you're the minority. And also, it's just more of an ethical reason that I reject them. Also worked at Dave Ramsey, who doesn't necessarily agree with the way Graham does stuff, which I understand, but I still like him. And I think he's got a lot of common sense wisdom to teach you. But why I wanted to do this video, I obviously am a Christian, and I think the reason that you see stuff like this in Ka is because there's no mooring to reality. There's a moral breakdown, and when the leadership of a place totally goes off the rails, it loses the ability to help people flourish. Human flourishing is something that is right and good. In the Bible, in the very beginning, in the book of Genesis, God says, take dominion and subdue the earth and have dominion over it. And in California, it's like they've lost a sense of justice. They have no sense of morality. They're pushing things on children that is awful. They have no understanding of justice and use of the law to create law and order for guys that are making significant money, can't even go down the street without trash and needles. And Ben Shapiro, he said the same thing. Joe Rogan in Texas, probably again wearing the belt buckle and has 10 guns by now. Who knows if he didn't have them already. And then you've got Shapiro coming to Nashville, which is where I live. And so all these guys are leaving for a reason, and it's because they want to go to places with more friendly views of at least income tax, or in some cases conservative values. Now those values need to be based on the Bible, God's Word. People that reject who God is, which I assume Graham's channel is not a lot of Reformed Baptists like myself, but they reject the Bible often because of the view of morality. But God has written his law on the heart. All people have a conscience. Conscience con with knowledge, con science. Creation declares the glory of God. And if you're watching this, I want you to know you have a soul. You have value. You're important. You're made in God's image. And Jesus Christ, who is fully God and fully man, did something very important. God added a human nature to his divine nature, bore an infinite wrath on the cross, died and rose on the third day, so that the legal debt that we all owe to God for our violation of his law could be forgiven, literally forgiven. He canceled the record of debt that stood against us, literally on the cross. Now, that may seem like a weird twist to this video, but it's very tightly connected to the idea of how you govern, to the idea of how you view humanity, to your view of children and babies, to your view of marriage, to your view of business. Not the idea of private property is very much a biblical idea that people were entitled to human flourishing. In fact, it's written into our Constitution if we still use it. It might be a placemat at this point at restaurants, but in some places, the Constitution still has value. And so I'm grateful for Graham. He's a very, very helpful guy. Check out his channel. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hammer that like button. Like coffee sales in California, rumor has it the coffee prices are going to surge now that Graham is no longer buying and making coffee there. So sad news. Thanks for watching, and God bless.